All right. So I met this gentleman, gosh, probably through social media. 2016, I'm going to say, is when we were in Cerritos, and we just never connected for whatever reason. But through social media, we exchanged a few texts, and I'm excited that that he's here to share what he does best. He is a lender by trade, but I will now say he is a marketing ninja. And I think that's what we're going to talk about on how Minh is leveraging social media for his business. So without further ado, Minh, why don't you come on up?
Man, the fact that you guys have someone help you with your TikToks, this is the first real estate office that I actually seen where the company is actually helping you with TikTok, which is really rare because everyone is preaching, do TikTok, do Instagram, do Reels, but are they showing you how to be successful? You know, a lot of companies that I have spoken with they want you to be successful because they make money, but they're not showing you how to be successful. So the fact that Scott's doing that, let's clap up Scott.
I wish they would take me up on it though.
Yeah. So, just give you a story. I've been a lender since 2003. At a point, I had almost 100 loan officers. I was funding about like 75 million, and I opened my own company. So when I went and opened my own company, of course, it was like the Jerry Maguire, who's with me? 2/3 of the people went with me, the other ones didn't. But as a small company trying to originate, of course, other bigger companies will start poaching my employees. So I had an opportunity. Do I keep recruiting more people, or do I go out there and get my own business? And at first I went out there and I started working with realtors, and I had account execs help me because, at that point I did have some money, but of course lenders were poaching my account execs. So instead of continuing reaching out to realtors, I started, how do I beat the realtor to the punch? Get to the consumer first. So in 2017, I started using Facebook and Instagram to start building my content. In the beginning, everyone thought I was crazy. Like, man, you're out of your mind. You got to start meeting with realtors, do more realtor meetings. And I didn't do that. I just sat back and I made content. And a couple years went by, and now we're at where I don't have to call realtors, but I have the consumers reaching out to me, and now I'm calling realtors to send them referrals. So it's the exact opposite of what realtors and lenders go through, right? Lenders will hit you up. They want your business. They'll buy you coffee. They'll help you out with Zillow, but they're not doing anything to grow your business. See what I'm talking about now? Everyone wants something from you, but they're not helping you get to where you need to be. So today, we're going to go over different ways to help you get to where you need to be. Okay? So, of course, the way I do it is through social media. Anyone using social media to grow their business right now? Who's not using social media to grow their business? Okay. Well, if you're not, hopefully you're doing something else to make yourself successful. I'm not knocking other strategies, but social media is the easiest way to grow your business in this market, especially on TikTok. TikTok has changed drastically. All you guys are using social, are using TikTok or using Instagram? Instagram? See, TikTok's where it's at right now. And TikTok is changing. So today I'm going to go over actual strategies, not make content. If you make content, it's like you're a comedian that tells jokes in the closet. Who's going to laugh? Well, at least one person laughed, right? Like, no one's going to laugh at your jokes if you're the only one telling the jokes and hearing the jokes in the closet. So it has to be the right joke, but it has to be in front of people. So using social media is the best way, but there are strategies to do that. So if you are using TikTok, here's a little strategy for you. It's the greatest time to be in real estate right now because TikTok is here to help you out. If I was TikTok and I came up to you like, I'm going to help you out, just put out a piece of content and I'll promote it locally for you. Is that a good deal? Is that better than a flyer? Is that better than a mailer? Now you can wear your sneakers and not your heels and go out there and start knocking on doors, right? You can wear your flats now, right? As a woman, I've worn heels a couple of times just to test it out. It ain't that easy. I'll tell you that right now. I have empathy for you. So anywho, that's another story, right? But social media, especially through TikTok right now, and Instagram is my jam. Instagram is where I have my biggest audience, but I can see more business coming in through TikTok organically right now. So if you are using social and you're putting that type of energy into your Instagram, you need to put that energy into TikTok. And I'm like, well, I don't want to make content for two different platforms. Yes, each platform is different. But of course, right now, what's the most important thing about working out? Getting to the gym first, right? Once you're in the gym, then what? Then you can start making different decisions to critique each muscle, right? But getting to the gym is the hardest part. So I don't have time to make it for TikTok and Instagram. I don't want to use YouTube Shorts, which YouTube Shorts is big too right now. Just make one content and get it up and running first. Once you get it up and running and you start getting momentum, then make changes. But I would focus my energy on TikTok. Okay, that's one piece of advice I can give you guys, and they do promote your information locally. Second piece of advice, TikTok is audio. So if you say a specific word, TikTok will pick it up. But if you start talking about being a vegan, and then you start talking about doing real estate in Cerritos, you're confusing TikTok. You ever talk to your spouse? You keep changing the subject or talk about different things. How confused are they? Right? But if you tell them, this is what I want to eat every day. What does your spouse or your significant other or other people understand now? This person is a vegetarian, right? So you have to give the algorithm time. The algorithm, it's like you meeting someone new to date. They got to learn about you, know what you like, know what you want, and they will promote it for you. We do so many changes that we don't allow the algorithm to do what it needs to do. Okay, so if I would tell you right now, TikTok, decide what you want your message to be. I have a person that I'm helping out right now. They do luxury homes, and then they do first-time home buyers. Is that confusing? Right? So yes, you want to be broad to grow your audience, but you do need content, but you also want to be very precise so TikTok and Instagram can find your audience. If you are doing Instagram, so if TikTok is audio, guess what Instagram is? Visual. So what you put in your Instagram will tell Instagram where to go. So you show up in restaurants in San Diego sporadically, you keep filming down there, but you don't do business down there, and you're back here in LA, what's going to happen? It's going to confuse them. So make sure you are very precise on how you put out your content. That's why a lot of times I don't believe some of these content creators, if you're Gary Vee, you're Pineda, Ryan Pineda, if you guys know who he is, they can say blah, 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 and it's going to go viral. On the end of the day, you're not them, right? I'm just keeping it 100. If you go up there, make 15 pieces of content, put it out on every platform every day, you're not important. I'm not important. So someone's not going to stop and watch the video. So it's all about understanding who you're dating and what you want them to do. And I think the more you understand that, social media will bring you buyers. They will bring you sellers in the area that you want, right? There is a realtor I want you guys to look up. Her name is Kina DeSantis, okay? She has been doing real estate for 3 years. She hit 75 units this year alone, I think in May. On buyers only. She doesn't have sellers since she's a new agent, but 75. She uses just TikTok. And look at the way she says things on her TikTok. When she does close a transaction, right? She uses Instagram. But it's not even on her page. She makes when she closes an escrow, it's Instagram ready. Doesn't even know what Instagram ready is. You ever gone to a pop-up where people take pictures like crazy and then they post it all over the internet? So she does like smoke bombs. She does champagne. She shakes the champagne, sprays everybody. But her clients, they don't use TikTok, or they use Instagram. They repost the information, and that's how she's building her business. And she only has TikTok. She doesn't do mailers. She doesn't spend any money on advertising. She's just really smart on how she does her videos. If you watch her videos, they're not professional at all. If you watch her videos, they're all on her phone. So if you're not using social because I need to get the right camera, I need to get the right equipment, I need to get the right editor, none of that matters. Another thing to teach you guys, oh my gosh, I don't have money to pay someone to put my captions up. Let TikTok do it. Let Instagram does it. And it actually helps the algorithm and it helps you get to the right people. So I think today I wanted to share that with you, is that you're not using social to grow your business. I get it. There's a lot of bad direction out there, right? But now hopefully you guys have the right direction, at least a stepping step, the first step to the right direction to grow your business on social. Don't be so overwhelmed. Yes, you do need the right content, but first understand that it's not that hard. You don't need to spend all this money. I think a lot of us put social media on a pedestal. And because we can't do it or we can't do it to that extent, we don't do it at all. But if you position yourself in the right way and you put the right energy into it, you will grow your business. I have a friend of mine. He is a lender. Sometimes I do help my competition as well. But he's been a lender for, he's been doing social media for 6 months. He's closing 4 transactions a month on social media. You know, the only difference is that he is not local, so he closes transactions all through 47 states since he's a lender. So you just have to position your social right. But for 6 months, he just does 2 or 3 videos every day. And now month 4, 6 months down the road, he's closing 4 transactions. That's big time. If you guys dedicate 6 months and you want to close 4 transactions, is that what you guys want? Dedicate 6 months. And the fact that he has the tools, which I'm blown away at, that no one's using, I would do it all day long, right? Use the tools, use the resources you have to grow your business. So that's what I pretty much commend you guys. Like, go out there, you know, put your effort into it if you want to use social media. You can do it another way, but of course I do it through social, and I've been doing it for 5 years now. And because of social, I really don't have to grind as hard. In the market that we're in right now, you see loan officers, it's everyone, a lot of loan officers, they're walking in fear, like, oh my gosh, please don't shop me. Oh my gosh, please don't lose this one. Oh, and let me get the next one. To me, it doesn't matter because I use the social media to grow it to a certain extent. I have the mass audience. And then as you grow your mass audience, now you can do paid advertising. You know, like the reason why you see this beautiful face everywhere is because we do so much paid advertising from Kern County down to San Diego. I make sure you're going to think of, when you think of mortgage, you're going to think of me, right? So, but you have to leverage organic business to grow first. But once you get the bug and you understand it, now you'll believe in it more. But I think you guys just need to go out there and try and remove the social media, take it off the pedestal and start using it to grow your business. Anyone have any questions?
No, it's a great intro. So when you meet people, what do you tell them when they say, oh, what do you do for a living? What do you tell them?
I tell them I'm a marketer. I don't tell them I'm a loan officer. I tell them I'm a marketer because my goal is to market first, be a loan officer second, right? To grow, to have the life. Everyone got into real estate so they can have more freedom, right? No one got into real estate because they want to work a 9 to 5. But you're in real estate and you're like, man, I'm in real estate. Where's all my freedom at? I'm working even more than 9 to 5. So that's why in this industry, in this era right now, you got to be a marketer first. Once you're a marketer, then you're a real estate agent. A lot of you guys also who are real estate agents, well, I don't want to be on the internet because I don't know the answers to everything yet. You don't need to know everything. They don't fall in love with the house. They don't fall in love with your knowledge. They fall in love with who? You as a person. So you as a person needs to shine the most when you're doing your social. I do the same videos because time, right? A lot of you guys, I did talk to when I was walking up here, time is everything to you guys, right? So as you're making content, you have to think about the content you're making. How can you bulk the content? How do you bulk content? Time management, number one, but look at content you can do easily. What's the easiest content to do right now? Write a paragraph. Write a hack in a paragraph, right? Pick a sound that's between 5 to 7 seconds or 15 seconds. So a lot of you guys, it happens to me too. When you put a lot of production behind a video, it might not go viral. And then you get, oh man, I got all done up. You know, I worked on my lines. You know, I was looking solid. You know, I have my chest out, got my Gucci belt on. But why did my content not go viral? But I sat there, walked around, I picked my nose, but that one went viral, right? You have to understand that people's attention span is really short. So it makes your life easier. You don't have to do crazy amount of content. Make short content, 7 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. The number one TikToker the number one TikToker right now is named Scott Bentley. If you watch and dissect his content, he is a creator. I call him the norm. That means he doesn't have, he's a smart guy because he attacked TikTok, but he's the reason why I like his account the most. He's a normal person. He doesn't have a special gift. He's not the best looking person in the world, but he knows how to make short content quick and deliver the same message. If you look at his message, it's the same message every day, but that's the type of clientele he wants. It's going to be a 600 FICO or a 580, 100% financing, down payment assistance. You know, he combs through a lot to get some business, but that's the market he wants and that's the message he puts out. So if you're going to batch content, I would follow his strategy of batching content. There's another guy, he's my boy, the Mortgage Kitchen, right? His name is Jedi. So if you talk to him, that guy, he has a British accent. He was a model for Wilhelmina, and he had a British accent. Of course, if he says something, even I'm like, okay, what do you want? You know, but you hear it, but he delivers the message and he follows a framework. But if you're ready for that, here's the framework. And even I don't follow the framework, and I'm starting to follow the framework. It's hook. It's a short hook. Identify the problem, give an answer, and a CTA. If you have that framework, when you build your content, it will be short as well. If you don't have it, you start jibber jabbering like, well, today this happened, and tomorrow's this, but let me teach you this, or the 5 ways against this. Like, why are you going to teach me the 5-way? How does that affect me? Right? If you break the process of what's the hook? Okay, what's the problem? The 5 reasons why you should do this. Well, how does that 5 reasons affect me? Right? So if you create that framework and you understand, hey, I only have a short period of time to do content because I got to work as a real estate agent, you'll follow these strategies and you'll be able to bulk your content quicker. And also remember, you don't have to be perfect. The content that does the best is the content that's filmed on your phone. I think we had one recently. I just carried on a bunch of beers and I put it on a table, and that one went crazy. And the one I sat there, I read the guidelines. I looked it up on the internet. Right? So, but that content does pick up volume once you can anchor an audience to watch your page. So that content is valuable. Not saying that's not. So that content I would put time into, but I wouldn't do that much. I would maybe do, go ahead. Blended. I do more business than I do personal, unless you're a person of high value that you are selling something from your personal that you want to share. Because so there was a girl that was auditing her account. She's a vegan, she's an artist, she's a real estate agent, and she drinks craft beers. And people who reach out, it's just so many different people reach out to her, but it's not a buyer, it's not a seller, it's not the audience that you want. So if you are a father, I would sprinkle it in there, right? Yes, the old days, you want them to fall in love with you, but they should be able to fall in love with you through your personality on what you want to talk about, what you're trying to pitch. Not, I love parasailing. Now you're dragging the audience in a different direction of parasailing. So Monday through Friday, I do my morning market updates. And you see how my morning market updates, I used to drop the rates right away. Now I drop the rates at the end. Why do I drop the rates at the end? So you watch the full video. Ooh, we got some geniuses in here. Yeah. But yes, I do stack all my other content on Monday. So this is my schedule. Through the week, I troll the internet looking for content, looking up guidelines, looking up different hacks. And then I have someone review it all. And then we prepare it for the following week. And we have someone else. I do have someone that I pay to, okay, did I use the right sound? Is that sound overplayed? Was it used recently? Okay. Am I using too many words? They'll change the script around to fine tune it, but we film everything on Monday. So whatever we get the thumbs up from the girl on Tuesday or Tuesday, Wednesday, the following Monday, we film it. And we film, where's Andy at? And then so I think how many we put out right now? So 14 pieces total every week. So 5 market updates, I do that by myself, or he edits it after I'm done doing it. And then the rest we batch it on Monday. So this is the thing about hashtags. So you have to decide what you want. Do you want to be the local legend, or do you want to be doing real estate everywhere? If you don't use hashtag, TikTok and Instagram will eventually find whoever you want it to find. It'll be a broader audience. But do you want someone from the Philippines messaging you or asking you a question? So when you don't use hashtags, your information, if it's funny about yourself, it goes somewhere out there. And then this person liked it. And then it's going to share it to their friends who they knew their friends liked it. And then it starts spreading out in that direction if you don't use hashtags. But if you use too many hashtags, you're minimizing who finds it. So it's a healthy balance. I suggest like videos that you just want virality and just to anchor an audience, don't use too many hashtags. If you have a piece of content that you are looking for something specific, then use hashtags. Yes, we spend a good amount of money. We run ads like crazy. But we didn't do it in the beginning. Now we run ads because we have an obligation. How my business model works, we have a mortgage company that buys majority of our viewers, right? I used to call them, I'm working on not calling them leads, because if you call them leads, you treat them like leads. You call them viewers, you treat them like viewers. So I'm working on it myself, so I'm just calling myself there. So we have to generate 50 live transfers a day for this company. And of course, they want business in California. So all our ads are ran in California to generate business for them. So yes, we do boost. But running ads it's another game. So when we run an ad, I wish my partner Tim was here, but when we run an ad, we put out content. If we know the insights, it did well, we'll push it out. We'll use that one. We'll A and B test it next. We'll run $100, A and B test it. It hits a certain audience. If it does well, performs well, then we'll keep running. If not, he'll actually film it again, change your hat, film it again, change your t-shirt, film again, do it at this angle. Your chin sticking out, or whatever, do it again. And because it's the content did work on organic because our audience did like it, but for some reason it didn't hit well, we'll make some changes and then we'll decide. But the one that's killing it for us is once we had an audience, it's just me going this, and this. It's just me pointing. I'm not even talking. And that did the best. So it's sometimes you think like me doing this, and it did the best. And I think our number one ad right now is our live agent. So against our audience, where we send a broad amount of people to see, we did a live agent like, hey, I'm in the office today, Taco Tuesday. So every Tuesday we run that Tuesday ad. Every Monday we have a Monday ad. We have a Wednesday hump day ad. Every day we have a different ad, and it seems like they can talk to a live agent right now, and that's our call to action. So this is what I would do. You can either pay there's something called Trend Talk. You can download the app. It's like $40 a year. If you don't want to do that, I would have 2 TikTok accounts or 2 accounts. I do everything from TikTok first because all trends start from TikTok and they end up retiring in Instagram. So if you catch the TikTok trend early enough, don't be premature where, it just came out, post it on Instagram. Momentum's not going to go anywhere. You want to wait out probably like 3 weeks to probably 4 weeks. If you for sure know it's a new. You went in there and it's not a 30-day trend already. If it's like a brand new one, you just caught it, I would wait it out a little bit. But go on TikTok, have 2 accounts. Have one account, you just do your thing. And then you have your other account where you want to follow people. You ever say, to go viral on TikTok, try this trend. Follow all those accounts, start liking the videos, start liking all their stuff, all that content will start populating on your phone. So when you start seeing 2 or 3 people put out the same video, then okay, I got to ride this one. So a lot of people, like I said, if you look at Scott, you look at myself, we are normal people trying to become social famous. You cannot this other guy doesn't follow trends. How do they go viral? If you are a British person, you are a model, and you have a British accent, yes, you have to follow trend. But if you're the normal person, you do got to follow trends. You do have to dance? No, I tried it. It did not work great, right? It did not get good. We got to hide these videos. But you do got to follow trends. Unless you're that successful already, then of course, it doesn't matter what you say, right? You guys see Gary Vee, he's saying the same thing over and over again, but because he's Gary Vee already. So you cannot put yourself in the Gary Vee, the Logan Pauls, the Jake Pauls out there. We are normal people. And that's why when I go to these conferences and I hear people buy my program for this, because this is how I became successful, they're not the norm. And then if they did become social famous, they made their money either in real estate first for a long period of time and they have the money to leverage to become social famous, or they did mortgages. It is an anomaly to catch someone who did not do trends to become social famous. It is an anomaly. Trust me, I have a third account. I have my troll account, right? And I stalk people all day long. And the ones that are killing it, if you keep scrolling, right, they got into TikTok in 2018, 19. They got into TikTok so early, but you look at their content now, their views are like boo-boo. That means they're not going viral. Like they hit this number and they're stuck there and they're not growing anymore, but they have a big enough audience where if they say something, their audience will like it and they'll push their information up because they were there in the beginning. But if you guys are social media people starting now, there's a lot of noise out there. So the trends help out a lot. No, I worked on that. I had a speech coach at Chapman University. They helped me out with that. So I move my hands. So if you move your hand, it keeps people engaged in the audience. You sit there, no one's engaging with you. So either you have beginning before I had more people help me edit, moving the hands keeps look like something's happening, right? If you don't, you're sitting there talking, people are going to swipe out. Unless you have someone, unless you guys know how to edit that well, every couple seconds, you got to cut like cut, and change the angle. If you have two cameras and you're changing angles left and right, you don't need to move your arms around. The camera's doing its thing and the editors are doing their thing. But if you don't have that, moving the hands do help.
Does it matter when you post?
Doesn't matter when you post. I say it doesn't matter. We tested it out before. We were, let's post this time. We changed time. It doesn't matter. No. If the hook is good, everything else is solid. If the hook is solid, the hook will get you to the next stage. The watch time and the hook. So if it was today, I had to like click my heels together, start all over again. I would start with 5 to 7 seconds, right? 5 to 7 seconds. Talk about something controversial that people engage and they fight. The reason why is because when they fight and argue, that video plays in the background, and every time it plays 5 to 7 seconds, guess what? You're like busting through the next level of more people, right? You're like, get me through. Like I talked about DACA. Oh my gosh, there were some people who hated DACA, like, they shouldn't deserve a home because we were here first. Oh, and there's some DACA people like, oh my God, you don't respect the United States. You should have earned. It got crazy, but that allows things to through. So you gotta think about, okay, what is something that people argue about, right? I know people hate this, but sometimes I splash a little politics, and you let people argue amongst each other, because we convert our stuff from from TikTok to Instagram, and we remove the watermark. That's the reason why. Sorry, because you have to post it first on TikTok, then you can remove the watermark, and then you can post it. The app we're using. Let me see if I have it on my phone. Hold on, let me check. What are you using to remove the watermark? Oh yeah, Musical Down. Let me see if I have the name of it here. It's musical, like MUSICAL down.com.
Can you share what your back end operation looks like your support staff, just to pump out your social media content?
So right now, there's me, there's Andy, who does pretty much all the videoing and editing. There's Jasmine, who helps me look for social on the internet. There's Isla, who helps us with copy. And then there's Sydney, who we pay, on contract, who reviews all our content.
Reviews, is she looking for what's trending, or?
Yeah, she'll look at it like, hey, you have way too many CTAs. All right, hey, I like this, but try this sound. Or hey, I like this, but you added too many words. Hey, this is not broad enough. This is too specific. That means there's not enough people who are going to see this video.
Wow.
So, and then we keep training. So she's been helping us the last couple of weeks, and it has been picking up. That's our group. And then we have 3 people on concierge that when people reach through to ask a question, I like working more on Instagram, even though TikTok is trending more, because on Instagram, there's Messenger, and Messenger allows you to engage with people. On TikTok and YouTube, they might want to ask you something, but you can't engage with them behind the scenes unless they're following you, you're following them. There's way too many steps. So the 3 concierge people, they'll engage. We go through a bot, and if they stop in the middle of the bot, the concierge will jump in. And if they're like, hey, Minh, we need proof of life, means they want to hear from me directly, I'll shoot a video really quick, send it to them, they'll upload it. Pretty much, we assign out about 50 live transfers a day, and right now we're 100% purchase. We don't do if a refi came down as like a unicorn. So yeah, we do 50 purchase transactions. 70% of them do not have real estate agents. So we try to assign them out to our realtors as much as possible. Some of them are local, some are far away. It all depends on where they're at.
I think just want to highlight again, because you're completely out of production. So
Correct.
As these leads come in, you're just getting a referral fee of all these leads. So you're not even in production servicing the loan.
I think that's the future. I think that's the future of real estate, right? You're going to have the ones that are the marketing kings and queens, or others. I'm not here to offend anyone. Kings and queens are others. And then you're going to have ones that they don't want to do, and they want to do real estate. So of course, there's going to be ones that shoot the guns, and some of the ones that provide the bullets. You decide what you want to do. For me, I want to provide the bullets. I'm not saying that the person who doesn't shoot the gun isn't important, but it all depends on what you want. So for me, marketing is first. And once you get the marketing down, you're working on mass numbers that you don't care about a transaction closing. I think her name is Laura or Taylor out in Tennessee. She's a social media person on TikTok. I met her at a conference. She hands out all her business. She takes, I think, like 25, 30%. Doesn't sound like a lot, but she spends more of her time on social. But if you're closing 12, 15 deals a month, you're doing it, right? I have another friend of mine. His name is Suman Kim. He's been doing real estate, I think, 2 years, and he pretty much a juggernaut. He's on pace to hit 1.3 million this year. And he's off a little bit because all he does is he does social. He does all new construction. You can look him up, Sumin Kim. He does all new construction. He closes you, sends you the pamphlet on new construction in Austin because he moved from actually Cerritos there. And he has someone meet them there who actually knows the area well, puts their name in the book, gives them I call it the girlfriend experience, right? And then moves on to the next one. But he has like a couple different agents around different new construction. And he has a pamphlet, the do's and don'ts on buying new construction. He has it out there when you watch his YouTube video because he does just new construction, and he's a marketer. And off of his smaller split, he's making more money because he's able to market to the masses.
And who did you say he's really targeting to grow his team? Who is he targeting to grow his team?
Marketers, younger marketers. He's not targeting real estate agents. He's targeting people who are younger, newer, who want to evolve and become marketers. So he's part of EXP. So, they're adding more people, but he only looks for marketers. He actually was in town a couple of days, or I think on Monday, and I had dinner with him. Everyone there was a marketer. No one there did real estate longer than maybe a year and a half, but he's turning them on to marketers because that's how he's growing his business. And he's trying to teach efficiency.
And then the real estate's the byproduct.
Correct. So real estate is the byproduct because it's listings, it's buys, it's new construction. Also, it's other agents who now he has this energy around him. It's so much easier to recruit because he's a product of it. And like I said, if you watch his life, you watch his story, he knows how to maximize his time.
And because there's so many leads, he's just going to fail. They will just fail forward.
Correct.
On the client. Because they have so many more leads coming in.
Correct. But he says he has a system, like he has a territory he does his YouTube videos on. And then on top of that, he has agents already there. So hey, cool, you have a time. He doesn't have a time slot where you cannot go to the house because he doesn't want you to go in there and write your name on the book right away without passing through him first. So that it's pretty genius how he does it. Correct. Yes, this is my go-to. But right now, I think my other content, the content that it's killing for us right now is we write a paragraph. We write a paragraph with a hack, right? I wrote one recently regarding how to buy another home with just 5% down and you don't have to move in it. It's right. It's the Fannie Mae opportunity loan where you can buy a house for your parents and put 5% down. And I put the word elderly parent. So the number one comment is, what's the definition of an elderly parent? Or I could have put between the ages of this, and this. If I would have put it in the post, guess what? No one would engage, right? You'll want to leave a little room, right? For like you're dating someone, you want to leave room for some mystery, right? You can't tell them, hi, this is me. Here I am. You got like, here's a little bit of me. Here's a little bit of me. Here's a little bit of me, right? You want to share it that way. Yeah. If you look at the ones that are killing it, it's short video with a paragraph. Don't explain too much. And what is the pain point of the viewer you want to reach, right? If you are going to like purpose content, we can do this another day, or, if you guys want help with it, make a list of who do you want watching your videos? What are their pain points? What do they care about? Right? What do they care about? And then make the list of the pain points. And then when you find the pain point, and what I learned recently from Sydney, match the pain point to the trend. Don't match the trend to the pain point. Because if you try to do that, your content is going to be boo-boo. Because you're like, oh, you're just throwing in crap in there, right? You know what I'm saying? You're throwing in shit. You're just throwing shit in there. Because like, oh, I just need this sound to match, or this word to match this sound. Write a list of your content. Some of it you got to, one piece of content, like Scott from TikTok does, he has different versions of it. He has it in a paragraph. He has it in problem solution. It's a sound, and then they linger the sound, and boom, it pops into the solution. And then everyone's just waiting. You get the full, someone's going to listen to the full sound, but you get problem solution. He does it like my corner one in bubbles, where you got to play out the bubbles, like, oh, so I can make it to the next bubble. So sometimes your pain point, and you can recycle that pain point over and over and over. Scott has, I think, 3 that he recycles over and over and over. And the things I'm sharing with you guys after, I think because we do so much, we got onto Instagram so early that we were able to make money right away, run ads right away. We didn't really have to chase trends. And that's why I like TikTok more, because it's challenging me to chase trends. So the nuggets I'm giving you guys are the nuggets I just got a couple months ago, and we're testing it and it's working. So thanks, Scott, for that, by the way. I pinned to my profile. The one in the middle, there's so much controversy on that one, not my wife and I, because they're like, oh, you guys complaining about $900 car payment? People hate that one. So I know people love to talk shit. I post that one, so engagement. The one on the right is just as good a marketing one, and the one on the left, it's Kanye. You want to know what it is, right? So that's why I post. So we have one for pop culture, because you know it's Kanye, you want to know what it is. The second one, like, okay, people hate that one. Because people hate it, I want them to go back on it and throw more hate. Yes, we're spoiled, you know. Yes, my wife is better looking than me. Like, just keep egging it on. It helps out my algorithm. And the last one is actually has value. It does okay. It does okay. It doesn't do great. It just does okay. There was a moment when I was doing a lot of mortgage payments and it was doing good, and then I just saw that it did good for a season, and then it kind of dwindled away. It's because I think a lot of my audience, some of the purchase price that these realtors wanted me to do were a little higher, and people were just like, it helped the algorithm just a bit, but it wasn't great. But everything is trial and error. Actually, I was actually calling my pastor as I'm coming here, talking like, man, this might not be for me because I do not have thick skin. I thought I had thick skin, but I think I'm soft now. So it does affect me too. But you have to think about, why are you making the content? Are you making it to be liked by somebody? Or are you actually making it for a bigger purpose? So when you start thinking like, well, I'm not making it for this specific person, most of the time the person who's throwing all that shade on you will never be a homeowner, and they're just deflecting what they're going through. But I go through it, and I tell people like, okay, well, if you want to keep writing on my page, put something of value or I'll block you. Sometimes I'll say that. Do I delete the comment? Depends on the mood I'm in. If I'm in the mood where sometimes I thrive by hate, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make this person wrong. I'm gonna prove this person wrong. Then I leave it on there. But then if I'm emotional, I'm like, oh, delete it. It all depends on my mood. But it depends on how will that comment fuel you? Will it make you better, or will it make you worse? Will it make you be a better real estate agent, loan officer, marketer, whatever you want to be? What does that comment do to you? That should decide if you want to keep it or not.
How did you get to the amount of followers? Was it a short growth process, or did you go viral on one specific video?
So on Instagram, for 4 years, I hit 25,000 on Instagram. In the last 10 months, I hit 70, pretty much the rest. Wow. So I hit 90,000, pretty much almost 75,000 in the last 9 months. And on TikTok, I had it for a while, but I really was active March last year. So in a year, I'm close to 40,000 now. So it took me a shorter period of time on TikTok.
What would you put your finger on? Like, what would you say was the result of the growth in the last 10 months? Was it the consistency? Was it TikTok? All of the above?
Being aware of the content you post. Because I was like, just like you, I'm listening to Gary Vee. I'm listening to all these guys. I'm just posting. And until I stop and actually pay attention, like, what am I posting? And now I realize I'm a nobody. If I'm a nobody, I need to find a way to trick this algorithm. And until I start paying attention, I couldn't convince the algorithm. And go ahead. And then a lot of times they'll tell you to post and they'll tell you this, and you're like, man, I'm posting. I'm not getting the momentum I want. And I was going through the same thing. But like I said, we hit Instagram early. We were in the 10, 20,000 followers on Instagram, but we're running like 75 grand in ads. You can't trump that, right? But we didn't start with 75 grand. We started with 1,000, 3,000 when we start making money. But think about this: on a $10,000 paycheck, I kept like $2,000. I kept $2,000. I ran 8, right? And then eventually I got enough where my realtors were giving me business. Okay, whatever I get from my realtor closings, I'm going to put into ads. But I'm a strong believer in ads. You can grow organically, but if you want to close actual business and make money, like I know guys with, you guys know Matt Garland, the mortgage guy from Instagram. So he has, I think, almost 300,000 followers, right? And he's not closing that much in business. He's doing more investing stuff, but if you have that big following, if you don't do paid advertising in the future, when you make your money, you're not going to get the business you want to continually keep growing. So, but going back to what you're saying, until I started becoming more aware, okay, I'm putting out these videos, they're not doing well, and I get lucky. I'm like, okay, it's just the algorithm. I'm just getting lucky. Like, they'll push when they want us to push. No, it doesn't. It is very smart. It's like you said, you're dating somebody. You're dating a human being. Just remember that they're smart. If you provide the right information, you'll go viral quicker.
So what is that definition? Like when your aha moment 10 months ago, when you strategically said, who is my end user? How do you define who that is today?
So if I did my end user, I make a list. Okay, what does my end user want? I want my buyers to be conventional FHA, right? I don't want jumbos and I don't want arms, because jumbo and arm realtors, I mean, not realtors, lenders aren't paying me money. So why am I making my content, for jumbos and arms? So my content is built towards buyers between conventional FHA, in Southern California. So when I make my content now, you guys notice when I do a video, it's 740 FICO score, 5% down, right? 740 FICO score, 5% down. In whatever, when I would do locations, it helped out a lot because it starts steering my audience. That's why I would do them here and there. But I was very strategic on what I said to get my audience where I want it to be. Now I have 2 tiers of content. I have my content I want to get viral on, where it is viral. It means you pick a viral sound, like, oh, what? All videos should be viral. No, not all. Viral one brings in the audience, but the non-viral content speaks to your audience. Because at the end of the day, what's the use of having a bunch of people follow you if they're not what? Spending money. If they're not buying, they're not selling, what's the use of that? So sometimes you're like, oh my God, this one didn't do well. The ones that don't do well sometimes only hit a couple people, but hit the right people because they're the ones who's gonna buy or sell. So if you do want to do the old style Gary Vee, follow realtors and lenders and comment on their stuff. And then when you start posting, they'll start commenting on your stuff. That does help a little kick in the algorithm, just a little bit, right? But make sure, like, if you're brand new, follow the trend, make sounds that are short. Go with the 5 to 7 second, 15 second, right? And release those. If it was me, how people say, oh, you should post 3 times a day, 4 times a day, 5 times a day, right? Post until you figure out your sound. Like, I realize I am the average Joe. And I realize that by posting a lot, I'm not like, the Jediah, who he posts once every couple of days, but every video is like my whole week of views. But he was a writer for, he doesn't want me to say the name of the people, but he was a writer for pretty famous social media people right now that he wrote their scripts, he wrote their deliveries. So he knows how to deliver through the algorithm. He has a video that hit like 4 million views, right? That's like my 1 year of views. He did it in one video and he was just getting interviewed, right? But he just knows how to deliver it. So if I was starting, just understand that we're not above the rest. The easier is to humble yourself and just follow the trends, but just follow a strategy of like, okay, what's the hook? Does it cause controversy? Okay, cool. I'm going to do this. Like a video I posted recently, and I said, do not buy a home. When people like me and thank me and actually started following, sharing my video, and actually, oh man, like they trust me more. Like, hey, I think we weren't ready to buy, but I noticed that you said not to buy, but then I talked about how rent's going up, right? So I did a figure where if in this time, I probably wouldn't buy. But just understand, if you don't buy now and your rent is $2,500 a month, which is the nationwide average, I think it's $2,495. In 30 years with 3% inflation, your rent's going to be $6,000 a month. You don't want to pay $6,000 a month in rent when you're in your 60s and 80s. My partner called me, man, you just put out the kryptonite because all the LOs are getting pissed off because people are, oh, Min said maybe I shouldn't buy. Everyone still bought, right? But more people reached out to want to buy, but I said something that a lender would not say not to buy, right?
Can I flip it just to one on your last post about talking how everyone's going in, like my kids' generation, there may not be homes available for them to purchase when it's time to buy because everything is turning into a rental market. Can you elaborate and talk more on where you think we're all headed towards?
Okay, so
the housing shortage.
So Andy, this is the good stuff right here that will work for our page. Because our content doesn't go to, I'm not here to recruit realtors. I'm not here to recruit lenders. I'm here to give you guys information, but this information probably wouldn't go on my page. But this information probably would go on my page. So you look statistically, right? Right now in 2022, we have less inventory than we did in 2019 that's available. There's 3 months worth of inventory on the market right now. That means, of course, if we did not sell a single home in 3 months, we would have no inventory. And now if interest rates go up, the builders are not building. So we have low inventory that's being pent up by what? Interest rates. They're hiking the rates, and so demand is being pent up, and we're not building single family homes. We're pulling back permits are down. If permits on single family homes are down, that means in the future to get it up and going again, it's going to take a couple years. So by the time the next couple generations become age to buy a home, there's not going to be homes for them to purchase. So our kids and our kids' kids, it's going to be hard for them to get a house. It's because we're not building enough homes. We're penting up demand. And what's happening, especially in California, if you bought a home for $200,000, let's say in the 80s, what is it worth now? Who wants to pay higher property taxes? They're passing those houses on to their kids, and their kids like, I'm going to hold on to it so I can hold on to the property taxes. Those are the biggest issues happening in today's market, but people aren't paying attention to that. They're just like, oh, interest rates are up, the market's going to crash. It would be hard. They would have to bring unemployment to a certain level where the people who are becoming unemployed are going to lose their jobs. I mean, of course they'll lose their job, but let go their mortgage. Statistically, people who lose their jobs first are what? Renters, not people who own homes. And if people bought a home before 2022, 50% of mortgages, 51% of homes with mortgages in the United States have interest rates under 4%. What does that tell you? That means, go ahead. That means the mortgage payment should be cheaper than renting that home in that area if the home was under 800 grand. So if I did lose my job and I actually was a homeowner, I can rent it out. I'm not going to let go of that house. So because of all of that, there's not inventory hitting the market. Foreclosures are down. Forbearance is down. If all this is happening, and the only reason why people aren't buying is because of rates right now, as soon as that rate pulls back, guess what's going to happen? Floodgates going to open, bidding war is going to happen, and it's going to be harder. So like right now, like I'm stressed out. I'm sure, Scott, you're stressed out too. Like I got to make sure I get my house for my kid, because there's no way the way inflation is going, the demand's going, where my child is going to be able to afford to live by me. And as you get older, I'm sure your parents want you to live by you, and I'm sure you who have kids want your kids to live by you, and that's not going to happen if nothing's done about it. Yeah, I do the math all the time. Like, so out of all the homes in the United States, right, 38% have no mortgage. So that means you got what, 62% left. Out of that 62%, 51% have under 4% interest rates. Right? And then like out of that 68%, I think 40-some% have over 50% equity. Even if equity pulls back a bit, if I would not sell, I wouldn't have to sell. Anyone who would, so you would need like, the trolls, the haters, all these, doomsday people need the perfect scenario. You need someone who bought a house in 2022 from February up until June to lose their job and be a homeowner for them to have to let go of their house, because they probably don't have the equity. So you need that perfect scenario to see a home collapse in the market. That's why I have so much confidence, right? What did Kevin Hart say? Say it with your chest, right? You have confidence if you read the data and you understand the material. So if it was me, as a marketer, I would focus on understanding the material so you have the confidence. You should have confidence in yourself and in the market. You don't need to have that much confidence in real estate. Because some of you guys I know reach out, oh man, well, I don't know enough about real estate. I don't want to talk about it on the internet. You don't have to. If you don't know about real estate, talk about the market, right? Read the news every day. I read more about the news than I've ever read about the news before. And that should give you the confidence to have something to say. That is not, oh, I don't know about new construction. Well, I don't know what a wedge is. I don't know what I'm cheating the system right now. I pay someone to look at all the data for me. But before I did that, I have my articles. I read all day. So I use zero hedge, speculating value. So when I talk about speculating value, let's say you had a home that didn't appraise, people are still paying over the asking price, right? I call that speculating value. That value is that comp and a couple of those comps drove the value up of homes that shouldn't have been there. So I call it speculating value. That's the negative thing about speculating value. You know what's the good thing about speculating value? People aren't doing the math. That speculating value is giving buyers, putting them in a better position to negotiate for repairs. Back then, you bought a house, you overpaid, you couldn't get any repairs. But now you have that money, and as a realtor, you got to be smart about it. There's a certain amount of money you can use for closing costs. But if you're able to knock it out of the park and use that speculating equity to cover repairs, who's a champion? You are, right? Now they're moving the house. Like I go there, I'm like, you see this carpet? And sometimes I'll roll around in it. You want your kids rolling around this carpet? No. But you got that extra 50 grand. Why don't you get new carpet, get new, paint the walls, and then use some money for closing costs, or buy down the rate, buy out the PMI. My wife and I, our biggest story, we bought out the PMI. We were on the direction at 25% equity, but equity just stalled and we don't have 25%. But our PMI was $465 a month. So we bought out the PMI. You know, we used some of that speculated equity. So we were in a better position. So that's what, does anyone understand what speculated equity is now? It's value that was never there, but it was speculated, but it's still holding value for you to negotiate. And that one video that did really well for me, and I had my other realtors use it, the speculated equity, right? I go, if you want to know how much you have to negotiate, look at the last comparable sale. And I'm sure your buyer, your seller wants to offer above that price. Most likely they're not, it's going to have to come back down to that price, right? So use that. So you know, like, okay, the last comparable sale is 600 grand and the offer is 630. How much do you have? 30,000. So, okay, now I have 30,000. Let's break down. How can I use that 30,000 to the most important thing my buyer wants? What's the important thing the buyer wants? The cheapest mortgage payment, lower rate, lower mortgage payment, right? So I have 30 grand. Okay, so if I'm doing 3% down or under 10% down, I only can use closing costs. I only can use 18 grand. So I'm on my 30 grand. So if you put less than 10% down on a conventional loan, you can only use 3% in closing costs. So if I got 30 grand, if I go in there and ask for 30 grand in closing costs to do all this crazy stuff, at the end, the lender runs a test like, well, you're asking for too much money. Negotiating at the end, who looks like an idiot? The realtor does, right? For negotiating it. The lender goes, I didn't know. So if you know your guidelines, or you know the amount, like, cool, I'm only going to use 18 grand. What am I going to use the other 12 grand for? Right? When you use it, the best way to close a buyer, sit down with them. Hey, what do we do with 12 grand? What are we going to do? You want new walls? What color are we going to paint the walls? Right? What are we going to do with floors? You want me, dude, your kid, I saw he's 2 years old. He keeps dropping everything. Let's use mechanical or engineer wood, right? Now I'm building that relationship with you. Now I'm personal with you, right? And I'm getting that deal for sure. I'm not losing that. No one's shaking me. Where are you going?
All right. Well, I think I know you got a busy day. We took up probably more time than I told you how long it would be, but thanks for all the insight, all the information, and giving back to our brokerage here. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let's give Minh another hand.